I learned this from my son probably 3 months ago. And guys, I like tattoos. I'm going to be honest. They covered up most of them today, but I like tattoos. And it's going to be one of my next ones. He said, WIN. The acronym WIN, what's important now? We get so caught up in the big picture, sometimes we don't slow down enough to deal with what's in front of us. And so what made me think about that is when Boss Lady was like, I see a spot and I sweep the whole floor. What's important right now is getting that spot up. I'm wasting extra time cleaning the whole floor because the floor wasn't the problem. That spot was the problem. And I could have been using the other time doing something else that I needed to do. So if I can leave that nugget with you, and I got that from my 24-year-old, is WIN, what's important now to get me where I'm going in this season, right? And so then the other thing is this. I'm a big proponent of self-care, but I look at self a little different. How can you take care of what you don't know? So raise your hand if you really know yourself. See, as women, we take care of everybody else. That's what we do. We're bred that way. We're bred to nurture and to take care of and cater to, and it's in our nature to do it. But in doing those things, we lose sight of who we are. I'm looking at this baby because I was a very young mom. I had my first child at 16. And let me shout out my mommy. This is my mommy on the second row. Wave at her, mommy. That's my mommy. and a quick testimony, Minister Roz and I talked about you the first time I met Minister Roz, and she's in the room today, so thank God for that. Amen. But I say that to say this, how can you take care of what you don't know? It ain't about the nails and the hair. That's cute. That's that external. But until I know me and what I like, how can I take care of or cater to me? Like, find out what you like. Rediscover who you are, because we play so many roles in life. Sometimes our identity gets caught up in those roles and we forget who we are, right? I've been a teen mom. That's how I used to identify myself. A teen mom, a single mom, all of those things. That's not who Robbi is. Who am I? So you have to take the time to find out who you are. Try some stuff out you never tried before. You don't know if you like it if you don't do it. So I encourage y'all, I love Groupon. Go on Groupon, find some, some crafting events, go to Meetup and go out and do some things you've never done so you can find out who you are and revisit those things that you put down. I was watching the young ladies up here doing the spiritual dance. I was all into that when I was younger. Set it all the way down, like re-explore those things that we table to take care of our husbands and do these jobs and take care of these children, because taking care of you is most important. So for me, that's what self-care is rediscovering of self so that I can truly take care of what's important, not just the superficial. I had my first child one day after I turned 16 years old. He was born at 12:30 a.m. My birthday is April 5th. His is on the 7th. But I say that because now I'm becoming an empty nester. I'm 40 years old. That's different. Nobody prepares you for the shift in relationship. I can come from where you're coming from thinking about control. I've been in control of so many things. I was emancipated at 17 years old, so my life started before the average person, right? So I'm used to fixing all the problems and having to control everything going on. But what happened when you ain't got nobody else to tell what to do? What happens when your children become adults and now they need your guidance and not your rule, not your denomination over them, right? That was a struggle for me. Like, I literally went into a depression late this year when my 21-year-old and my 17-year-old moved out and got their own apartment. Because now who am I? Who am I without them? What am I supposed to do now, right? I started to feel like I was no longer needed. I was no longer valuable. Like, where do I stand now? But learning how to readjust in that relationship. And sometimes going to the people you're in a relationship with and having them to tell you their truth makes a difference. I needed to hear from my daughter, Mommy, I do need you. I don't know why you would ever think I didn't need you. It's just in a different capacity. And being able to fit into the role in which they need you now, right? I'm transitioning into the role of wife in the near future. And so with that being said, when you've been super independent, especially as women of color, we kind of were forced into that independent role, right? And so growing up without my dad influenced directly, I gained this masculine sense just because I had to protect myself where there was no protection. And so now I'm expecting a man to come and cover me when I didn't leave the room to be covered, right? That's a very humbling experience. So now it's like learning how to be in a relationship with a man, right? I found myself attracting boys that needed their mama, because I can tell you what to do I took care of you. You moved into my house. I paid all the bills because I was in the role of a man.
Yeah.
Right? So it's learning how to relate with that divine feminine in me. I had to go learn her. I'm still learning her. I used to envy the daddy girls. I was like, why she get men to do whatever she want them to do, and I'm struggling. Yes, ma'am, sorry.
There's a fire in this room.
I used to envy the girls that can get the guys to do whatever they wanted to do, but they knew how to talk to them.
They knew
how to be needed.
Yes.
I don't know. Hey, this lady right here messed me up. She used to tell me I don't need a man for nothing. If I gotta make him do something, he ain't gotta do it. And so that's the mentality I took into my life. And I was wondering why I didn't attract the providers. I was wondering why I didn't attract the protectors, and I was constantly being violated. So learning how to be in relationship is very vital, and understanding that your role in relationships change and allowing a room for the relationship to change is extremely important, right? At one point, me and Aisha didn't have the relationship that we have now. We moved into a sisterhood. Once upon a time, she was my daughter's mentor, and I was on the outside of her life. Now we have a very intimate connection. It looks different when I'm calling you to inquire about what's going on with my child. Now we locked in life. So knowing how to maneuver in relationship, adjust relationship, leave space for relationship, and then allowing yourself to be vulnerable in relationship. Ouch. See, I grew up kind of hating my daddy.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? So you may have been a strong woman because we're usually raised by matriarchs. Most of our families are matriarchal, so the woman is strong. So you had that inner strength, but you also had the protection of a man that kind of allowed you to operate in your feminine, right? Versus me. I've been a gangster my whole life because I had to be. You see what I mean? And so now that I'm walking in, okay, how can I bring down that energy to allow a man to come in and cover me so I can really be for real? Like, I got so much energy that God has placed inside of me to do some major things, but you can't do it uncovered.
Right. But how did I get a husband that needed a mother? And
okay. So that's the question you're asking.
Right.
What is his relationship with his mom?
Mama's boy.
Okay, so you attracted that, right? Because of your nurturing energy. He's a mama's boy. He went and found you to replace his mama. Ouch, sorry.
My bad.
Her bad.
You know what I mean? Because you are that nurturer. He came and found you to replace his mama. And so now you got to fall back and let him be that man.